The boss of the ANZ Bank today said a review of the RBA is necessary, but stopped short of criticising the central bank and its actions. Ross Greenwood, our business editor, is with me now. And Ross, you've been speaking with Shane Elliott. Do you sense any trepidation from business about criticising the RBA itself?
Oh, I do, from not only business community but also from even politicians as well. Everybody is welcoming the review into the Reserve Bank. Of course, even the Treasurer said this is no witch hunt. We don't want this to be personal towards the Governor or indeed others at the Reserve Bank. But the real issue that I have, Kieran, is that if the Reserve Bank has made mistakes or has made misjudgments, shall we say, then they should be actually called out. The reason for that is because you don't want those mistakes made in the future. I think the person who came closest to this was the Prime Minister yesterday, effectively acknowledging those mistakes and then saying he doesn't want them made in the future. When I spoke to Shane Elliott today, and remember that ANZ has had its own issues, especially losing market share in the home lending market, he was a little circumspect about criticising the Reserve Bank, notwithstanding the fact he does say that this review is needed.
Oh, I think, we haven't had a review into the central bank for many, many years. I mean, I guess you can always say it's never the right time. There's a lot going on. I'm sure they're very busy. I know we are. But, it's always a good time to rethink public policy settings. And the Reserve Bank has such an important role.
And Ross, while there's been on another front some confusion about whether we should work from home or not with this latest outbreak of COVID, something else happened today that makes it difficult as well.
Well, right, so this is the whole point. Only a few days ago we were told, oh, you should be careful, maybe you should work from home, consider it if you possibly can. Well, today Microsoft had a major outage globally of its Teams app. Now, the interesting part about this, it went offline, not just here in Australia, but around the world. Slowly coming on board now, we understand, but there are other aspects of Microsoft's 365 program that's universally used by business and by individuals and students and others that really sort of then cause problems. Now, if you consider that if people have been told to go home, but then they can't use the very app that they need to actually meet with each other and have the meetings. I've got to say the one thing I did find, Kieran, today rather amusing was the number of memes and the amount of time that people had then to make the memes, which were quite funny, about people literally saying, well, that's it. Time's over, work's over, we can pack up for the day. The fact was they're already home, which wasn't the point as well. So this is the real issue of living in a technological world, that if you have a significant outage such as this, it really does disrupt work right around the nation and indeed globally.
And finally, why has Tesla sold 75% of its Bitcoin at a time when the price has collapsed, Ross?
Because it needs cash. Here's the interesting thing. Elon Musk is worried about the future of the world, notwithstanding the fact that profits at Tesla were still strong, $2.5 billion odd they were, but he's got issues in terms of his plants, and in particular his plants in Berlin, in Germany, and also in Texas, which he says right now are losing billions of dollars. Then his giant plant in Shanghai also was disrupted by lockdowns in that country. And so notwithstanding the fact he's trying to ramp up production to get more Teslas out and more Teslas sold, this is the reason why he's the wealthiest man in the world. And so ultimately, I think the company has found itself, shall I say, distracted by a number of things, including the ongoing legal battle over his potential acquisition of Twitter. And so really, the business, I think, has just wanted to get back to the idea of making cars and trying to build them as quickly as they possibly can to take advantage of this change to electric vehicles. In many ways, I think that really the acquisition of all that Bitcoin was something of a distraction for that business.